This year in 2014, the Orient Mako celebrates its 10-year anniversary, and I'm personally celebrating my 5 years with the Mako. So I figured now is the perfect occasion to reflect on my ownership of the timepiece. Aside from being the first mechanical watch I bought with my own hard-earned cash, let's examine what makes this watch so special to budget-conscious collectors all over the world. It's not outright pedestrian, but the Mako won't draw you a lot of attention. Its case measures 41.5 millimeters wide, it's 46 millimeters lug to lug, and only 13.5 millimeters thick, which is relatively slim for a diver. The sizing here is ideal overall for any modern wrist, lending the watch a sure presence but nothing distracting or uncomfortable. The case mixes brushed and polished surfaces that don't sharply transition. Overall, it's fairly unimaginative in its finishing but unquestionably tasteful and hefty. With a flat mineral crystal, matte black dial, sword hands, and an oyster bracelet, you can understand how this might be a watch that you've seen 1,000 times. It's a basic dive watch in many respects, but closer inspection highlights its charm. First is a screw-down pusher at 2 o'clock, creating an interesting silhouette. Practically speaking, it's annoying because it adjusts the day of the week. Now with continuous wear, tomorrow's day of the week is never going to need adjustment. It's always Monday, then Tuesday, and so on. But the date would, since not all months are 30 days. So I'd have rather had it operate the date, but a pusher that operates the day is better than no pusher at all. Next up is the raised mineral crystal that will, with daily wear, accumulate scratches and chips that will make this watch age faster than one with a sapphire lens. Signs of wear make the Mako look even better because, although you can buy it today in 2014, it doesn't really look like it comes from today. It's not quite vintage per se, but the sword hands, the cursive writing, and the steel-bordered calendar apertures make the watch look more like it originated in the 1990s, 1980s. You know, it's proud of what it is, though. When you look around at your most affordable mechanical divers, you begin to see a lot of similarities, not only within each of them, but that these divers are also lazily imitating iconic designs from Rolex and Omega, and that's just not the case here. Then there's the details that really make this watch sort of unfair to other watch brands. The applied crests and hour markers in the dial combined with the signed crown are touches missing from watches retailing for 10 times the price. Everything lines up. All the indices coincide with the markings on the bezel's diving scale. The pip on the 60-click bezel points directly at the 12 o'clock hash mark. Inside the Mako is a 40-year-old in-house developed automatic movement Orient caliber 46943. It lasts 40 hours on a full charge, and I'm still pleased with its accuracy, running at about 5 seconds behind a day. The Mako comes on a steel bracelet or rubber strap, but the bracelet is the way to go because the quality is superb for the price, and the dolphin logo on the rubber strap is childish and betraying some of the seriousness of the Mako. Despite hollow end links, the solid and substantial oyster-style bracelet sets the bar extremely high for its sub-$500 diver. I have hairy wrists, and I have to say that most affordable divers have rusty bear traps in place of bracelets. The Mako's, though, is smooth. Even after 5 years, the clasp is still intact and operational. Like any diver, the Mako sits beautifully on most aftermarket straps, so you can easily pair it with your favorite NATOs. It goes with just about anything in your closet, so this more than succeeds as an ideal everyday watch. Now what's not so great? The lume, for one. It doesn't last beyond a few minutes, and even its greatest intensity isn't sufficient for legibility in real low-light conditions. Lume tends to be important to a lot of collectors, but it's never been that much more than a novelty to me, so it's a limitation I've always been comfortable with. The next thing is the bezel. Now, the unidirectional bezel is difficult to turn. When I first purchased the watch, I never really wanted to use the bezel for timing, but now I find myself using them quite a bit on other divers. On the steel bracelet, the Mako retails for $285, but you can pick them up online for about $150. Even the Seiko SKX007, one of my favorite watches of all time that costs about the same, doesn't have as good of a whole package as the Mako does. While this should never deter a collector from picking one up, the SKX007 comes on one of the most abominable Jubilee bracelets of all time. A quick strap change and you can comfortably wear this classic diver, but the Orient Mako feels perfect right out of the box for only $150. You can't beat that. Certain watches cemented the standards I have. When someone introduces a sub-$500 diver to the market, and it doesn't at least meet the Orient Mako's level of quality, then I could never really consider recommending that watch to a friend or buying it myself. Now, when a brand does that to you, you know they have a product worthy of a spot in your collection.